I deliver the model-based systems engineering training course on behalf of the High Tech Institute. It's a 3-day course and it should be of interest to anybody that's involved in systems engineering, ideally with a systems engineering background. You don't need any prior knowledge of modelling to do this, and we will be talking about how we use model-based techniques and practices to improve and enhance the way that you already do your systems engineering. The thing we have to bear in mind is that model-based systems engineering is a natural evolution of the way that we've always done systems engineering. So fundamentally we're doing the same activities, but we're improving the way that you do them to cope with the complexities of the modern day systems that we're dealing with in industry. I've been involved in the field of model-based systems engineering for my whole career, so just about 35 years now. The way that I got into it, I wasn't educated classically as a systems engineer. Originally, I'm an electrical engineer, so my original degree was in electrical engineering. When I did my doctorate, it was involved in artificial intelligence systems, so a broader scope than just electrical engineering. I found myself using software and software engineering techniques to do factory automation, for example, with robots. A key part of this was the representation of information, and also how can we trust the systems that we're doing, how can we trust the algorithms that we're using in software. And that's how I got into modelling in the first place, was through a necessity to actually demonstrate the rigour of the approaches that we were applying. That then led me into modelling, and initially I was using some of the software engineering techniques, the established techniques, but very quickly we broadened this out to encompass things like robotics, automation, the way that people work together as well. And then there was never any conscious decision. It just turned out then one day I realised what I was doing was systems engineering. So really looking at bringing all of the different engineering disciplines together and trying to make them work together, trying to make them more efficient. So rather than just having a team of electrical engineers and a team of mechanical engineers and a team of civil engineers working in what we refer to as stovepipes or silos who never talk to each other, actually integrating them and getting them to communicate with each other in order to contribute to delivering a system at the end of the day. Because what we have to bear in mind is that modern systems aren't just purely electrical, aren't just purely mechanical. There's aspects of many of these things in them, and it's not just the engineering, it's also the people side of things. It's working with a far more diverse set of stakeholders than we used to. It's taking things into account like the environment. Systems engineering is very much a real world discipline, and I think that's one of the things that makes it special is the target is to deploy it into the real world, into a real world environment. And very often when we're just doing things, for example, with my background, electrical engineering, we're too focused on one small aspect. So with systems engineering, we're looking at the big picture, we're looking at bringing all these different techniques together in order to contribute to realising our system successfully. And it's not just the building of the system, it's the deployment, it's the utilisation, it's the support, and ultimately the retirement of that system in the real world. I find the whole area of systems engineering very interesting. It's always held my interest, and I think one of the main reasons for this is the diversity of applications. All different industries, all different types of systems. It's never the same job twice in a row. Even systems that you think are very similar have their own peculiarities. They're special in their own way. So it's always holds your interest. And as I say, it's the variety of applications and the breadth of the field as well. So, you know, working with people, working with systems, getting everything working together, it's never boring, it's always interesting, and I'm always learning from it as well. Every time we work on a new project, I learn more and more. I feel very passionately about promoting engineering generally to the next generation. I think that we have a responsibility, a moral responsibility to make sure that the future generations of, in my case, systems engineers are there. I enjoy teaching, I get a lot out of it, I enjoy the communication, and one aspect of that is teaching to the next generation from school children from as young as 4 or 5 right up through to people in university, for example. I feel fortunate in that I've been able to teach at all those levels. Obviously, the techniques that you use teaching young children are very different from the techniques you use to teach people doing degrees, for example. One of the ways that I do this, I'm involved in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering and mathematics, to promote all of these disciplines. And one of the things that I do when I'm not a systems engineer is I'm also a magician. And so I use techniques like mind reading and tricks like this to show people the science and the mathematics behind the sort of the magic of the real world. And I enjoy that. I get a lot out of it. So I perform at music festivals, for example. Often they'll have a science stage, so we'll have crowds of people, we'll get the kids up on the stage, we'll teach them some tricks, we'll teach them how to use mathematics to predict their decisions, for example. To be able to remember things, so we do sort of memory tricks as well, how to memorize a deck of cards, how to memorize the first 100 digits of pi, for example. So all of these techniques and tricks, and that engages with children, they love that. And you only need one child to come through and be influenced by that and to be inspired by that, and that means I've done my job properly. If anything that I've said has been of interest to you, if you have problems with complexity in your systems or general communication problems or a lack of understanding, please feel free to get in contact with the High Tech Institute. We run these courses on a regular basis in Eindhoven, in the Netherlands, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.